thirdly and lastly, even as everybody is hitting the ground running with their goals, their visions, their dreams, I have nothing against that. I need to remind you that you need to do life and walk it at your own pace. Because many other times when the times it's natural for human beings to sit together and say, hey boy, what did you write for your New Year's resolutions? And she's like, oh, I'm gonna do this. And then you start to feel like, okay, maybe my resolutions and my goals and my ambitions are not quite as, I need to do better. It's good to be with people that are going to push you, they're going to challenge you to grow, to be a better you. But you need to keep in mind that you have your own race to run. It's not based on other people's ideas, opinions, whims, desires, what they want for you, where they want you to go. It is based on the plan that the manufacturer, that is God, has for you. Every person has their own race to run. And at the end of your life, God will not judge you based on my race. He's going to ask me my questions and ask me what I did with his time and the things that I was supposed to do, right? He's going to do the same thing for you. So it's also okay to stop, step back, and rethink, re-strategize. Sometimes we feel as though once you set a goal, or maybe it's just people that the planning personality type, we feel like once you set a goal, it's hard for us to sit and recalibrate. Learn from Siri, learn from the GPS. They recalculating all the time if you use a different path. We could learn something, no really, we could learn something from a GPS, because if it tells you to turn left in the next 40 yards, cutting on 40 meters, depending on which country you're from, if you turn right instead, it instantly goes recalculating. We should do that sometime. Run your own race. And do not be afraid to recalculate. Do not be afraid to recalibrate your life, to realign. No matter how far you've gone, if you realize rather that I have gone so far from the path God has called me to and from what God wants me to be, in spite of the losses you will incur, do not stand in your own way, in the way of your destiny, right? If you have to stop, re-strategize, rethink, and try again, do it. And be consistent and be disciplined about it, right? So those are the 3 things I wanted to share with you as we begin this beautiful new year. Number 1, start and stay in with God. Stay in God, stay with God. Secondary, we said momentum over speed. It builds your character, it builds your discipline, it builds your capacity, and it gives you an affinity for consistency. And thirdly, if you find yourself at a place where you're moving at a slower pace than others, that's fine. That's all right. And if you find yourself at a place where you need to stop, rethink, re-strategize, go back to the drawing board. Do a 360, a U-turn, 90-degree, perpendicular, adjacent, on top of, below, besides, whomever, whatsoever, nonetheless. Whatever you need to do, you do it. Right? God is going to ask you to be accountable for the life that He planned for you, not for any other person. You might lose friends, you might lose the things that you thought were your foundation. Good. It's actually good when you lose the big things, because then you realize that God is everything. I'm not bashing relationships. I'm not bashing doing the right thing. I'm not bashing growing with other people. Community is important. God is a God of relationship. He is. In Himself, of Himself, and even with us, right? But sometimes we need to come to a place where we lose the big things, the things that we thought were the big things in life, and gain the things that are truly valuable, such as God being your beginning and your end, your beginning, middle, and your end, right? You can Cursed is he who puts his trust in the arm of flesh. God is still going to surround your life with good and amazing people. But your trust is never in them, no matter how good and perfect and wonderful they are. Your trust must always be in God. Even if they're predictable, they're kind-hearted, they're good, and they always do the right thing. Your trust is always still in God, because the arm of flesh will always fail. Man will always fall short of your expectation, no matter how good they are. And even not intentionally. They are not being malicious, but man will always fall short of your expectation. So I wish you an amazing year. It's been a wonderful past year. Most of us have learned, we've grown, and all those things. Another year is coming. Let's brace ourselves for joy, for laughter, for light, for love, for learning, for growth, for stretching, capacity building, and all those things. See you soon.